And we are live. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nikki Smokes, joined by my co-host Bobby, and you are listening to the Smoke Show. How we feeling today, brother? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, bro. Every time that intro goes off, I get a little fired up. It's good to be back talking some Miami Dolphins football, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Nothing better than the old classic, the YouTube non-copyright little
Yeah.
fake EDM intro song. Nothing better. Might as well get right into it, bro. Um, is there too much hype going on with the Miami Dolphins right now? I don't want to mispronounce his name, but Mike Westhoff. So this guy used to work for the Miami Dolphins. He was on the staff. He was there with Dan Marino.
Mhm.
He also was on the same staff with Vinny Testaverde, and also not too long ago with the Saints and Drew Brees. And he didn't hold back to what he saw on the practice field, going out there absolutely ripping the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa, basically saying the offense was an example of what not to do on a football field. What are you making of this? Is there too much hype going on with the Miami Dolphins offense, or is it just too early to really tell?
Well, I think as Dolphins fans, we all know the hype is real. Every year it gets more and more real. We,
Every
we
time.
build it up, and then you add a guy like Tyreek Hill, who shout out Tyreek Hill. I saw he's got the orange jersey today,
Yep,
baby.
Tyreek in the
Wonder
orange.
what's on that
Yeah,
playlist. He's got some fire cooked up. I already know that, but the hype's always going to be real, especially when you start adding players of that dynamic.
right,
One thing for me that I've always had a bit of a question mark is like, can Coach Mike McDaniel actually coach? Because it
right.
seems as though he's got the swag, he's got the chemistry, everyone seems happy, the vibes are good. But when this Mike Westhoff guy starts saying they're lining up wrong, or they're taking forever
Yep,
to get out of the huddle, or just the little things don't look right, that's the
yep.
type of shit that starts to worry me a little bit, because it's all great and good if you can do the media things and the small things right, but I want to win football games. So I need to know if
Facts.
Mike McDaniel can coach some football. So it did cause for a little concern for me. Had to take a little bit of a step back and think for a bit.
Well, that's the thing. So he was saying, Mike was saying, not Mike McDaniel, Mike Westhoff. He was saying, I have no problem giving guys compliments or telling them that they're doing a good job when everything looks crisp. But when it's not looking crisp and it looks salty, he's like, I don't know how you just go around just being positive. Like, you got to tell these guys how it is. That could be an area of concern. But then again, he was only there for one practice. So maybe
Exactly.
it was the first or second day, and Mike's just not trying to be a dick and absolutely just rip Tua and rip the offense the whole entire time. But that could be an area of concern, because there has to be times where you're telling your guys, look, you were not doing this right. You need to figure it the fuck out. You can't just be, oh, don't worry about it. You'll get it next rep. You'll get it next rep. Because what do you do in the workforce when you have like a complacent manager, like the chill guy who just wants to be your bro? You're not working as hard, like you're just chilling back. Like, he's walking by, he catches you on your phone, but he's like dabbing you up, like asking if you want to go get lunch or something. They don't push you, they don't demand excellence out of you. So, do you think it's more so, oh, we're just starting to get to know each other, or do you see this being a problem down the road?
I mean, bro, we went completely, we flipped the coach on its head. It went from
Yeah.
Flores, super aggressive dictator, this is my style. If it's not done right, I'm going to tell you it's not done right, to
Yep.
McDaniel, cool guy. He's going to smile, dap you up. He's going to wear the jumpsuit with the Yeezys, like Mr. Cool.
Fire.
So he is, it's a completely different vibe. But what I'll say, like you kind of mentioned it, that Mike Westhoff guy went to one practice. And mind you, he had compliments to say about the special teams and the defense. It was the offense that he kept like going back
Yes.
to. And mind you, two new offensive linemen, whole new offensive scheme, new guys in the backfield, new number one
Yep.
receiver. So I don't want to make excuses for them, but obviously some of those things are going to play into it. If we keep hearing day in and day out different people at practice saying the offense looks like they have their head up their ass, they don't know what they're doing, nothing looks crisp, they're not doing anything right, that's when I'll start getting a little more concerned. But a one-off practice isn't going to completely drive me crazy.
Right.
Definitely something to think about, though. I mean, you want the boys to be crisp. You gotta hope they respect McDaniel and aren't just there having a good time. You want them to be executing what they're supposed to be executing, doing all the right things. So, little cause for concern, but I'm not taking too much into it. Not too much.
Yeah, me neither. And I think now is the time that you could make excuses for guys, because I'm not for making excuses once the season starts.
Hmm.
Once the season starts, you better have it figured out. Now, I know it's going to start off slow. It might not be as smooth as you wanted in September, but you just can't make excuses during the season. That's not how you win football games. But during the first week of practice, okay, the offense has a brand new OC, brand new head coach, two brand new pieces on the offensive line, a brand new system, and they're going up a defense that's been together for almost 3 years now. And our
Yeah.
defense has been the strongest part of our football team. So I anticipate for our defense to go out there and dominate our offense early in the offseason. And I hope it continues because that just means our defense is going to be elite. And if our offense is going up against that defense, I'm going to be very confident when our offense goes out there on Sunday and plays someone who's not the Miami Dolphins defense.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's just new stuff to learn on offense. The defense is basically the same unit it's been. So the defense obviously is going to come together a lot quicker, which is good. We want to see that defense even improve on what they did last year because I know that like ratings wise, we weren't ranked necessarily the highest,
I know.
depending on what you look at. But a lot of that's bullshit, and the stats don't always add up. We know watching Miami Dolphins football that our defense is very competent, very
Yep.
good. So it's good to see that they're meshing. Now let's hope the offense can come around. They're going to go up against that same defense all practice. Plus, we have some joint practices lined up, which is
Yep.
awesome because we're going to get to
Tampa
see
and
them.
Philly.
Yeah, get to see them go against some different guys to actually get a sense of where we're at. So, I mean, no need to panic right now. Let's get it all together. Let's get the plays installed. Let's get players comfortable. And then from there, if it keeps fucking up, then it's like, oh man, what has McDaniel got going on over there? But so far, no cause for concern. We'll be all good.
How do you feel about Tua's leadership? So there's reports coming out. One player says that Tua is what's that word that Omar used?
Standoffish.
Standoffish. And then there's another article that when Tua went up there to make his case to be captain, he basically said like to choose someone else, but I'll still be a leader on this team. Now I know there was a petty standoff between him and Flores. You go back to the Baltimore game where Tua was golfing before the
Yep.
game. That was a whole big deal. We talked about that for like 2 whole days because it's the offseason and we have nothing else to talk about. But you could tell there's like a little bit of pettiness, where there's smoke, there's fire. And we'll get into someone else who's got a lot of smoke going on around them right now, but we'll get into them later. Do you think there's a leadership concern with Tua? I mean, even going back to this practice report, it's saying he couldn't get guys to line up right. He didn't look good in practice. Do you think there's a leadership concern with Tua?
I don't know because early on in the early Tua days, I always made of him as like the chill Hawaiian guy who like just hangs out. He's nice to everyone. He's always smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Aloha this, aloha that. But now then you kind of saw the Flores stuff happen and the battle there. And now you kind of see him with a little bit of like he's got a little cockiness, a little swagger in the interview. Exactly. So I mean, it's good. You don't want your quarterback to be Mr. Nice Guy. You want him to have
I
that
agree.
like that belly of fire where it's like, did you see this? Or you need to be doing that. Like I want a leader from that standpoint. Um, the captaincy thing, obviously, we talked about it. It was weird with Flores not being there. But I think we lost both of our offensive captains from last year. I could be wrong. I know it was
Well,
Matt
Matt
Collins,
Collins is one. I
and
don't
then
I
who was
don't
the other
remember
one?
them. I don't
I,
remember, to be
I think
honest.
the other offensive captain is gone too. I might be wrong there, but I hope to see Tua be a captain this year. I mean, he doesn't
He
have the
better.
built-in excuse of I don't want to meet with the head coach more. I want to see him go out there, be a leader. I
Yep.
like that little bit of saltiness. Let's see a little fire, a little edge in the guy, and hopefully it all adds up to him taking that step forward that we so desperately want to see.
Well, here's my thing. So when you're the captain of the football team, that means you're a leader of the team. It's
Mhm.
not like you're a leader with the coaching staff. Like you are there to represent and motivate and lead your guys. That is why you are a captain. So I understand he doesn't want to spend that extra time with Flores. I get that. But at the
Yeah.
same time, you don't wear that captain patch on your jersey for your coaches. You wear it for your teammates. And you're the quarterback of the team. You got to be the bigger man there. You got to put that shit aside. You got to let them know I'm the leader for you guys, not Flo. I'm here to
Yeah.
lead you guys. And the fact that he kind of deflected away from that, that could be a problem down the road. So we're gonna find out this year with the new coach that obviously loves him and he obviously loves Tua, and vice versa. They love each other already. It's evident. We're going to find out if he's really that leader, and I really hope he does, because if he's not, that is like the most important thing for me from a quarterback. You have to be a leader, and you have to have that fire, You see the great ones like Brady. He's fucking rah-rah in your face, like he plays with a chip on his shoulder. I
Oh
think
yeah.
you need that if you want to be great in the league. So, like I said, we're going to talk about someone else who's got a lot of smoke going on around their name. And we're going to talk about it because we were heavily involved for this. We took all the heat for it and then backed out at the last second. Deshaun Watson. So, allegedly, Watson started to masturbate during the massage. The lawsuit alleges the plaintiff stopped the massage, but Watson stood up and continued masturbating aggressively before ejaculating. The lawsuit says some of Watson's ejaculate got on the plaintiff's chest and face. I'll start here. I wanted Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to hide from that. I'm not going to act like I didn't. I thought a lot of these girls wanted their check. They wanted their bag, and he was found not guilty in all of his civil cases. This guy's a horny bastard, and I was wrong. This is way too much of a distraction. I imagine signing him to a $230 million guaranteed contract, and you still have this going on. And I'm not the only one that was about Deshaun Watson. Stephen Ross was about Deshaun Watson. Our owner came out and said, I'll take my chances criminally. Just get it settled. He said he was willing to take his chances criminally. All he had to do was get it settled. And according to Watson's attorney, they were 2 settlements away from Watson being a Miami Dolphin. Mm-hmm. They said, Watson's attorney said the Dolphins were his number 1 destination and the Dolphins wanted Watson and were 2 settlements away from Deshaun Watson being a Miami Dolphin. So in hindsight, Bobby, I ask you as a Dolphin fan, are you glad that it didn't go through?
Yeah, so I mean, I look at it in 2 ways. When it all started happening and all the Deshaun Watson news comes about, obviously you look at the talent alone and you say Deshaun Watson on the Miami Dolphins, if all the criminal stuff is gone, the Dolphins are not only a division favorite, AFC favorite, we're a Super Bowl favorite contender. Easy, no doubt about it. But then you start hearing about, okay, he's got a couple, and then a couple more, and now it's a dozen, now it's 2 dozen, and then they just keep coming. It's like at some point you got to understand that where there's smoke, there's fire. I know that a lot of times it happens where girls or whatever it may be try and jump in on the lawsuit and get some more money. I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. I know how that stuff goes, but at this point, it's just too much for me, especially a guy that the Browns paid $240 million
guaranteed money.
Guaranteed. Like, that's crazy. And I'm happy that we're not in that spot. I'd rather take our chances on Tua. If it doesn't work, cut bait and move to the next guy rather than saying we have 240 M's tied up. But I will finish with this. I have respect for Stephen Ross because he said, fuck it. I will do anything I can to help win this Super Bowl before I die. And is it morally, integrally all correct at all times? No.
Not once.
I want to win football games, and that's the bottom line. And I can respect that that's the approach he took.
Great point. This man just wants to win. And it's not like the Dolphins are sitting here and making the same mistakes over and over and over. Like, they are trying every way possible. They are trying their absolute best to win, and it's just not working. And like you said, where there's smoke with fire, if you don't think that the Dolphins were trying to move off Tua, you're out of your mind. They had Tom Brady on the damn yacht. They were going for Deshaun Watson. They were going to try to get Sean Taylor. They confirmed that, and Tom Brady. So if you think that the Dolphins were just content with Tua the whole time, I think you're wrong. And I got to give it to Stephen Ross. I don't agree with what he does morally. If you put him in an ethics class, he would fail 6 times in a row. But this man is trying to do whatever it takes to win. He built a new practice facility. He put the roof over the stadium. He's signing guys like Tyreek Hill, Teron Armstead. He's doing everything that he can to win. He was trying to pay Brian Flores 100 stacks per loss. Crazy. And he picked the wrong head coach to do it. He's trying to do everything that he can to win. And I respect it. And a lot of people might not agree with it, but we are desperate. We haven't won a playoff game in 20 years. You want to know how you silence criticism? By winning. Go ask Pittsburgh Steelers fans how much they talk about Big Ben rape. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. But when you're this desperate, like Stephen Ross said, you'll take your chances criminally.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand that either. It really does feel like Stephen Ross has always put in the effort, obviously spent the fucking money. I mean, like you said, the stadium, he's always been down to go sign free agents. Like every year, it's free agents come to Miami first because they know Stephen Ross is going to go throw the bag at them, and then they go
Yep.
somewhere else and they have that offer on the table where they always use the Dolphins as leverage. Like Ross isn't scared to throw that money. He isn't scared to try to do what it takes. I don't know why it hasn't worked yet. I like the kind of different approach we're taking at it this time. But we'll see. You can't knock Ross for trying. You just got to hope at some point it works out for him, or if not, this guy might just be the biggest mush to ever live. Something like that, because he is trying.
You want to know what else I'm starting to hear? And it's kind of crazy. For some reason, it's heating up. Lamar Jackson might be on the Miami Dolphins. Now, I don't know what to tell you guys. And I'm down for Tua. I really am. Why not? Year 3, let's see. If we got him, we got him. If we don't, fuck him. We bought. Lamar Jackson, it's being rumored now. Rich Eisen, out of nowhere, out of clear blue sky, comes out and says, if the Dolphins had Lamar Jackson this season, are they a Super Bowl contender? I say abso-freaking-lutely. Could you imagine Lamar Jackson, Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, Sony Michel, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Cedric Wilson, Preston Williams, Mike Gesicki, and our defense? Bro, this team would be electric, dog. And I know everyone's going to sit here. They're going to hate on Lamar and pick. The dude's a winner. He wins football games. He is an elite talent. Top 10, top 12, at worst, top 15 quarterback. He puts us over that hump. You think that any team in the AFC or any team in the NFL would have a game plan for Lamar Jackson and this speed? There's one thing you can't coach is speed. No one would have a game plan for Lamar Jackson in this Miami Dolphins offense. Do you think if the Dolphins had Lamar Jackson, they would be a Super Bowl contender?
I mean, I would say so. Just the way you said it, you can't stop that speed. I would say on paper, I don't know how you would ever measure this. I would say already the Dolphins probably have the fastest roster in the league. And then if you went out and added Lamar Jackson, the fastest quarterback outside of Michael Vick maybe ever, I don't know how you stop that because the options at that point just become endless. And it would be so much fun. Like, look at how Mike McDaniel and Shanahan used Debo over there within that offense. Imagine how creative we would get with a Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Like, you would start to see some crazy, crazy stuff. And I know that you had it back earlier this month or a month or two ago. You started talking about Lamar to the Dolphins, so I know you would come take the victory lap. I think it'd be an upgrade for sure. But I don't know if it actually happens. I'm down for it, of course.
What do you think is more likely? Lamar Jack? Well, let me rephrase it. I'm just going to read Rich Eisen's tweet. Who is the Dolphins starting quarterback in 2023? You have 3 options. You have Tua, you have Tom Brady, and you have Lamar Jackson.
I think Brady. I still think Brady. Something about Brady in Miami has just always kind of been in the works. It feels like Tom is not the kind of guy who doesn't do stuff very strategically and know and set himself up for moves. I don't know. I've just seen too much about that owner connection with that Beal guy I talked about at one point, and Tom wanted to get into the ownership game, coming to Miami. It all makes sense to me. Is it a pipe dream, a long shot? Maybe. But for some reason, I've always just felt that there was something there with that.
I always thought there was something there with that until I saw Tom Brady sign that Fox deal. Now, it's not new news for a player to sign a broadcasting deal and then decide, hey, you know what? I still think I could play. I'll still play and I'll come join you guys when I'm done playing. That could happen, but I highly, highly doubt it because Tom Brady's making a lot of money with Fox. So I think that's a done deal. I think Brady will be done after this year. But I think it's all predicated based off how Tua plays. You know, obviously, if Tua plays well, we're not going to go with Lamar Jackson. But if Tua stinks and shits the bed, would you rather us draft a quarterback or go with Lamar Jackson? Now, for me personally, I think next year's draft class is elite for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But also, when we had the 5th overall pick, the quarterback draft class was elite. And I hate to break it to everyone, but we picked the worst one out of the 3. Out of Burrow, Herbert, and Tua is the worst. It's not even close.
So far.
And I'm sorry, it breaks my heart. I was all for tank for Tua. I was all about Tua. I didn't want Herbert. I said I would be pissed if we drafted him. I was wrong. I was the idiot. And so were we. I don't trust this front office to draft the right quarterback. Look at Ryan Tannehill, 8 years of nothing. Tua, worst one out of the three. Can he prove himself? Yeah, but even if he does prove himself, I don't see him being better than either of those two quarterbacks. I would rather trade for a quarterback that I already know what I'm going to get. Whether that's Lamar, whether it's Brady, I'd rather use the 2 first-round draft picks and use it as leverage to get a quarterback that I already know what I'm getting.
Dude, 1,000 times over. I mean, in both of our lifetimes as Dolphins fans, we've never had a legitimate quarterback.
Not
And
once.
they've always
Chad
tried to.
Pennington, best one
Chad,
I've ever seen.
Chad Pennington came in second in MVP voting one year. He couldn't throw the ball more than like 30 yards. It was impressive to watch.
Wild.
But yeah, dude, you got to, at that point, go out and buy a quarterback. It's the same way I feel about Dolphins with offensive linemen. We can't draft them. We've shown time and time again that we evaluate, we scout, we even get the good draft pick where you should be able to get a no-doubter guy, and you just can't do it. So at some point, you got to just say, okay, we've accepted defeat on trying to scout and draft these guys. Yep. We're going to go look at the tape. We've seen these guys play in the NFL. We know what they're capable of. Let's bring one of those guys in and then draft elsewhere because we do decent at some other drafting positions. So let's go buy a quarterback. But I really hope that at the end of the day, it never has to come to this. Tua's the guy. But, I mean, if not, maybe Brady pulls a Cutler, retires from broadcasting and comes to play for the Miami Dolphins. You know, that worked out good the first time.
Yeah, right. His wife made him sign that deal. They said 1 year for how much? Okay, yeah, we'll be there. I sent out a tweet earlier. This is the tweet. So I said, to be honest, we have to beat Buffalo week 3 at home. Even when Brady dominated the entire NFL for 20 years, we always thought we were going to win when they came down here to play. We don't have that same feeling against Josh Allen. We need to start having it if we want to win. Do you agree or disagree?
I'm with that, bro. That tweet kind of fired me up because you were right. Even in years where Dolphins maybe were like not even thinking playoffs, we're just thinking like, okay, we're going to go get a draft pick. For some reason, the fans, the team, everyone, when the Patriots came to Miami, we sparked up for that game. We knew for some reason we had a chance. There's something in the air where the Dolphins can just beat the Patriots any given Sunday at the Rock. But no one feels that way about the Bills at all, myself included. And when I read that tweet, I was just like, why? Why is the energy so far off where we just chalk Bills up to an L? I did it. I gave us 2 L's versus the Bills this year. And then you look at it and you say, rosters aren't that different. They got a better quarterback than us, but for some reason we're losing twice. I think you're spot on, and I think that needs to be the bar or the goal. Outside of playoffs, we have to beat Buffalo this year. We have to make it known. We have to change the energy, change the vibe, and make it known that when Buffalo comes to Hard Rock Stadium, they're leaving with that L. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing, my main point was, even if we go 10-7 and we lose to Buffalo twice and somehow make the playoffs and we get blown out, that season's a fucking failure. It's a failure. Yes, do I want to make the playoffs? Absolutely. But do I want to look like the Patriots getting off the bus and getting absolutely fucking mollywopped? No, bro. Save me the embarrassment. Give me real insight. I want to know where we're at. And if we can't beat the Buffalo Bills one time, we have no shot at winning the AFC. We have no shot at competing for a Super Bowl. We can't defeat our own division rival at our house. We haven't even made it close. And the worst part about it is that their fans take over the Hard Rock Stadium. There is so many Buffalo Bills fans at that game. It's ridiculous. It makes me sick. They almost outnumber us. I'm not going to say that they do, but it is close. Like almost a 50-50 split. It is embarrassing. The Dolphins, we got to show up, man. We got to really show up. We got to start winning that game because a lot of people are going to stop flying down if they don't think their team's going to win. Or better yet, they anticipate that their team is going to lose. So we have to do a better job at beating Buffalo in Miami because, like you said, even when we sucked, even if we were going 8-8 like we did every year or 7-9 like we did every single year, Brady's coming to Miami. The Dolphins have a chance at winning. But anytime Josh Allen comes down, we don't have that at all. Like, I go into that game just, please don't get blown out at home. It's completely different.
It's the one and only game I've been to in Hard Rock, bro. I went to the season opener last year against the Bills, and like you said, there was so many Bills fans in there. I was almost shocked at what I was seeing, how loud it was getting. And you're right. We do have to just start beating them because once that happens, they're not going to want to fly down as much. The one excuse that I will say is why there's so many Bills fans. It's because they live in fucking Buffalo. I'm one to talk. I can say that because I live half an hour away from Buffalo. It's fucking shit up here. There's nothing to do. You can't have any fun. Of course, they want to go down to Miami and go to South Beach and have a great time. So that makes sense as to why there's so many fans. It's because their city's a shithole. And I can say that knowing exactly where they come from. But what do we got here from the
We
man
got
down?
Waddle. Man, I'm starting to lose hype over Tua. Do you think if Tua keeps doing bad throughout training camp, we could possibly make a trade for Baker? I'll let you start.
Hell no. I don't want Baker Mayfield.
I don't want Baker either.
Baker Mayfield is just like that's another man's trash. Another man's trash is not another man's treasure in this situation. This guy's been beat up. He likes to do commercials more than he likes to practice. There is nothing worse than a guy who gets a billion advertisements, a billion sponsorships. You have to watch the football game and watch every commercial of him, and then it goes to the field and he sucks. And that's just Baker. I'm so sick and tired of Baker. I liked him coming out of Oklahoma. He was a cocky white kid who had some good moves, but like his shoulder hasn't held up. His accuracy isn't great. He honestly isn't that big of an upgrade over Tua in my mind. So that would be like just settling for a quarterback who we think might be decent, where I'd rather break the bank and go pay somebody if that's what it takes.
Yeah, I'm not a big Baker Mayfield guy. I'd rather draft a quarterback, even though I don't trust our front office to draft a quarterback. Or like I said, I'd rather trade for Lamar Jackson or maybe get Tom Brady to not work for Fox the year right after this year. So if he keeps doing bad throughout training camp, do I think it's a possibility that the Dolphins make a trade for a quarterback? Yes, I think that's possible. Do I think it's likely? Probably not. I think the whole front office, I think their vibe is let's see what we have with this guy. They've done way too much promotion of McDaniel and Tua and how this is going to work, and they've put too much into Tua's our guy. You know, like they've done a great job of screaming at the top of their lungs, Tua is our quarterback. Okay, so I think they've gone way too far on that for them to make that trade. But if Tua's just out there every single day in training camp and he's stinking it up, it wouldn't surprise me if they made a trade. It really wouldn't. But I don't think it's likely. And they also have Teddy Bridgewater as a backup. And you could make the argument that you'd rather have Teddy B start than Baker Mayfield.
Old Teddy Two Gloves. I don't think
like
Teddy
Teddy.
Two Gloves is a bad backup at all.
Great
I
backup.
think he might be one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the league, or he's right there close to where I think he could start for certain teams. So yeah, bringing in a guy like Baker Mayfield, who's not elite, doesn't do you anything. I'd rather just put Teddy in there if like Lamar, or I mean, if Tua is just absolutely terrible.
Right. Yeah, but I think we both agree that the best thing for the Miami Dolphins is for Tua to be that guy. Just be good. Be good enough to help us win games. Because what's his name? Not Nick Wright, because I hate that clown. Dan Orlovsky on ESPN. He said that a list. Quarterbacks that you win because of. Obviously, Tua was not on there, but it was the guys like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, on and on and on. I want to win with Tua. I'm fine with that. You can make serious runs in the playoffs by winning with your quarterback, not because of. There's teams that lost because of their quarterbacks, you know? And as long as we're not losing because of Tua, I think we're fine.
It's funny. I went to the draft, the NFL draft when it was in Cleveland, the year we took Waddle. And Dan Orlovsky was obviously there. They were doing their whole NFL Network stuff. But when there was commercials, like they were actually really cool. Like they would turn around, they would chat up the fans. So I was like, Dan, what do you think of Tua, man? Like that's our guy. You think he's going to be good? And he's like, yeah. It was obviously last year, and he was like, yeah, I think he takes the next steps. Obviously he didn't. And I was like, Dan, are we seeing him in the Hall of Fame or what, dude? That's all I want to know. And he just laughed and turned around. So I don't know. That was my conversation with Orlovsky about Tua, though.
Martina Davies says, have a day off. Shake my head. Tua will get the whole season and prove himself. Under no circumstances will Miami trade for a quarterback this year. Like I said, we've done a great job at promoting to the whole world that Tua is going to be our guy this year. But under no circumstances, well, what if Tua goes out there and breaks his ribs again? Or he hurts his wrist? Or season ending injury happens? Or what if he goes out there and throws 15 interceptions and 5 touchdowns? I mean, I wouldn't say under no circumstances. If he goes out there and he looks terrible, or God forbid, has a crazy injury and proves that he can't start all 17 games, I think there is a circumstance where the Dolphins would trade for a quarterback.
I personally, I take the other side. I don't see it whatsoever. I'm never 100% chance. There's always some weird thing that could happen, but I don't see any circumstance this year in which we trade for another quarterback. I think it's Tua is starting game one, absolutely 100%, no matter what. From there, we see how it goes. If it doesn't go according to plan, or there's an injury or something happens, I think Teddy's that next guy that would come in and just bridge the season. But I don't think we would actually address quarterback until after this year. So I think it's Tua and Teddy. Hopefully next year it's Tua again because he blew everyone out of the water. But if not, that's when you cut bait, and that's when you go get a new guy, in my opinion. I think it's too tough to get a quarterback, especially one that's going to be good enough to be like your guy at this point or in middle season.
Well, that's why that Watson thing was so crazy.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a weird
like that never happens. You don't ever get a chance at a top 5 quarterback. Obviously, you only got that chance. Well, he requested the trade before all of this shit like came up, but that's why it was so crazy, because it never happens. You know, guys that are coming out of their rookie contracts, like Josh Allen. I think Josh is coming out of his rookie contract.
I think he signed early though.
Like might have, right? Well,
yeah.
Anyway, so a guy like Herbert, right? When his rookie deal is up, no other team is going to get a lick at him. You know, the Chargers are going to pay him every single penny that they have. That's why it's so crazy, because if that were to happen and another quarterback pops up, I think the Dolphins would take that chance if it happened, but it probably won't happen again.
Yeah, I mean, we always seem like we're down at this point to kind of poke our nose around to any quarterback that becomes available or is even remotely on the market. It seems like we're definitely doing our due diligence. I mean, we've mentioned Lamar, we've mentioned Tom Brady. I know you've mentioned it to me. You haven't said it on the show yet today, at least. Is Kyler Murray, I think, would be another name. It seems like there's a little bit of bad blood in Arizona where the Dolphins could be looking to go that direction. Just another guy to throw out there, but man, do I hope it's Tua. These quarterback debates,
I'd rather it be Tua
debates. I just want it to be Tua badly, man. But Kyler's another name, I think, that seriously would draw some attention from the Miami Dolphins.
Yep. And here's the last thing, and we'll close up after this. You look at the Dolphins quarterback situation, and all of us fans, we want to believe that they're all in on Tua. But if you just put your little bias aside and you look at the facts, they were tampering with Tom Brady on a yacht. We were 2 settlements away from Deshaun Watson. They are not sold on Tua. Do you think our season relies on Tua's success this year? And how much of it?
See, I think that's the difference between being an actual playoff quality team and not. Because I think regardless with the talent we have on this roster, we're going to go out and the floor is going to be 7 games, right? Like, I don't see any way the team could only win 6 games. I think with the talent we have, we're winning 7. From there, there's a lot of shit that goes into it. But if Tua is actually good, I think there's 11, 12 game win situations where Tua could hold us back and the defense is good, but the weapons aren't getting the ball or whatever it may have you. So I really do think he is the separating factor in going from decent to good to great type of territory.
Right. And I agree. I think Tua's success weighs about 3 to 4 wins on our win-loss column. I think if he's great, you add 3 more. So I have us going 10-7, and that's Tua just playing average. But if Tua's good to great, I see this team winning 12, maybe 13 games. But if he's bad, I could see this team winning 7. Yeah. I could see this team winning 8. We play in the AFC. Our schedule is not free. We have a tough schedule. I think our defense is going to be great. I think our offense is going to be explosive. But what is Tua going to give us? He's the difference between 10-7 and 13-4? Yeah, 13-4. I think that's the difference this year with Tua.
Side note, how much harder is it to do that schedule math now that there's 17 games? When there was
Yeah,
16,
bro.
it was
Every
always 12
time.
and 4, 13-3. You
I
just fire
know.
them off. But now it takes a second with the mind. I'm on the same wavelength on the.
One last thing and we'll close up. Taylor Made Jedi, by the way, sick profile picture. Bobby has that driver in his bag. It's an unpopular opinion, but if we start the season 1-3, there's going to be calls for a new quarterback early this season. 100,000,000%. I agree with you. I think there will be calls. I don't think anything will be made, but the panic button will be slammed. Me and Bobby, we talk about it all the time. I say this team has to go 2-2 to start. I think our season is going to be based off how we start those 4 games. We cannot go 1-3. I posted a video, by the way, what 3 games we need to win to make the playoffs, and I have all the playoff percentages for teams that go 1-3 versus 2-2 versus 3-1. Our odds of making the playoffs at 1-3 are disgustingly low. Like we almost have no shot to make it. We can't start 1-3, and if we do start 1-3 and the offense looks terrible, I do agree. I don't even think it's an unpopular opinion, Taylor Made Jedi, that calls will be made for a new quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, people are definitely going to call for it. If the season starts 1-3, in my opinion, I don't. I don't think it's time to panic yet. Obviously, it's going to be a little uncomfortable, a little worrisome. But if you look
Right.
at the 4 games that they are, I mean, they're all tough
Winnable.
ass games. And right after that
Oh, you're talking
four,
about the first
the
4.
first 4, yeah, I'm saying
Because
like
the,
if
the
we
next 4 are winnable. We could win
exactly.
like the next 4.
So that's why I'll be chilling a little bit. Obviously, not the way we want to do it. I'd rather start. Hell, I'd rather start 4-0. Who says that's impossible? I don't say it's impossible. It's unlikely, but
But
if we
here's the
start,
thing.
yeah,
My bad. My bad.
go go.
But here's the thing. We start 1-3. Oh, we lost to the bad teams. But hey, we'll go beat up on the shitty teams.
Yeah,
What kind of team are we?
it's true. It's true. You got to measure yourself up. It is going to be a new offense, a lot of new stuff. So, I mean, I won't be 100% down in the dumps if 1-3 comes. I actually think it's a pretty realistic possibility. Unfortunately, I hope we don't get to it, but if we do, it's not time to panic yet. There's still games to be won and to turn it around. And TaylorMade Jedi, on the off chance you're associated with TaylorMade, slide into our DMs. Guys like to play some golf. Could always use some
Yep.
new stuff. But shout out the boy. The stealth driver is the real deal. If I knew how to hit it straight, I'd maybe be good at golf, but I at least look cool with it in my hands.
Taylor Made Jedi, we got a golf podcast that goes live tonight, actually, at 7
Tomorrow.
p.m. Wait, today's Monday. It's on Tuesday, but if you like golf, check it out. Smoking Greens every Tuesday at 7 p.m. All right, that's a wrap. Thank you guys for tuning into the Smoke Show. We appreciate each and every single one of you guys, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Fins
Yes,
up.
sir. Fins up.